All right, so we have a couple donations thanks to that incentive Heponwana put in for the deaths. We had $38 from Heponwana, who said, for all those deaths below the ocean and for the Real Hope Project. And we had Dr. Pie, who donated $19, saying, $19 for 19 deaths. And to introduce 76 families to kids waiting to be adopted. Good run. And just an update on where some of that money went, we are $2.75 away from being able to watch the cutscenes in the Shaq Fu run. We also have the Shaq Fu bonus run of Shaq Fu GBA, having the game audio on for Shaq Fu, and a bonus run of Shaq Fu Genesis. And all of those incentives are going to close later today. The bonus run of Shaq Fu for Genesis has $58 toward it, which means it needs about $442. I think I can math, sort of. But for now, it's time for Love 123 100% as the Heponwana block rolls on.
All right, I guess now is when we are closing the poll, so it looks to me like Remastered won.
Yes, Remastered with a dominant victory over Original.
Oh, I am glad to hear that, because Remastered is my favorite. The Classic is great, but it is hard. Both of them are hard, but it's a little harder. So what we have here is Love 3. Love 3 is this great retro-looking indie game from Fred Wood. It has some amazing music. This game is just going to be fast, frantic. It's a precision platformer. Once again, we have 2 or 3 main mechanics that are just like with Below the Ocean. We have a button to jump. We have a button to kill ourselves and respawn. And we also have the ability to put checkpoints wherever we want, which is going to help with death abuse, but it's also going to cause a lot of deaths. In which case, you know where this is going. I have my own donation incentive. Anyone who wants to join me, we are going to play through, I believe it's 66 total levels. That's a lot of levels. I know there's going to be a lot of deaths. So for every death I have, I am donating 20 cents. It's going to come out to quite a bit. I'm just going to say deaths are in the triple digit figure. So if anyone wants to join me, maybe not 20 cents per death, maybe if you don't have the means for that, but you feel like donating a little bit less, maybe 2 cents a death or 1 cent a death, maybe 10 cents, whatever you feel comfortable with. Expect somewhere around 200 deaths, depending on how things go. So we're going to get started. We'll select time attack. And so we have all these different level sets. We're going for 100%. 100% means on every stage except the very last stage of the entire run, there is going to be a collectible. The collectibles are kind of cool. We're going to collect each one. Typically, they involve a death with them, so there's going to be deaths to make it 100%. So time is going to start as soon as I click on this category. So if you want to get ready with the clock, we will start in 3, 2, 1, go. So, Love is a fantastic series. It's all about this little guy here, 5-8. 5-8 is on a quest to find friends. It's the end of the world. It's post-apocalyptic world. Every stage is going to consist of a few basic elements. One element is there is a color. That was a poor jump right there. There is a color. Every stage has its own color. Every stage also has its own song. And then there are 2 colors that will be on every stage. Black, which is the background, and white is stuff that does stuff. For example, bouncy pads. Or if you look behind me, I'm leaving these checkpoints. You can put them wherever you want, unless it would be a spot where you would die, in which case the checkpoint would die. Fortunately, all this great music, that was unintentional death. All this great music, we are not going to be able to hear all the way through. The soundtrack to this game, every stage with its own song is just amazing. This game also is incredibly difficult, but a lot of fun. It's available on Steam and on Switch, so it's a real good portable, bring it wherever you're going type of game. And so, here we're going to do what I like to call Mario runs. Just like Super Mario 1, if you're running, you could get over some of these smaller gaps. By bopping into that wall as we fell down, we were able to find the perfect placement to avoid hitting the static as we fell down. One of the challenges here is keeping the right rhythm on jumping. Jumping is very rhythmic in this game. And also this game has very, very tight coyote jumps where you are only allowed to coyote jump on like about the first frame of falling off a ledge. So you want to be very careful. Secrets are sometimes very well hidden and secret. You'll notice we didn't get one on this stage yet. Well, you might be familiar with Portal. I'll just say the cake is not a lie. Right there is our cake with the secret. Down we go. We are going to go to the bottom of the shaft and get to the next stage. Each stage is nice and brief and tends to have its own fun, unique mechanic. There was a death warp to get back to checkpoint because I don't want to take the time to walk back there. Why walk when you could just teleport? This game also has a good homage to Mega Man. You might notice these fading in and out blocks, and you'll see them a lot more coming up, kind of like they're called the Yoku bricks in Mega Man. And we are going to see those play an important role in this game. Once again, I don't want to walk back, so that one was not intended. But if I don't want to walk back, I'm just going to take a death warp. And we're just going to see now a big mess of Yoku blocks. Luckily, they are very rhythmic. You get a good visual indicator. There's actually 3 versions of Love 1 levels on this game. The classic has less of an indicator, but it's still there. And then there's another version of the original Love, and that one, the indicator is very, let's just say, I missed my timing right there, but let's just say on that one you get no indicator, no sound, no visual, and it is very difficult. This game is great for having a lot of difficult things, including that there is what we call the Yoko or the YOLO jumps. We were trying to get through there without dying, and yeah, no good. Speaking of dying, another collectible that you pretty much die to get. We're going to try and force our way through this with a last second jump to get over that over that saw blade, and I accidentally fell off my rhythm on jumping. Like I was saying, jumping is very rhythmic in this game, and we are going to try to do this room without jumping, except to get the collectible. I'm actually not jumping here, it's bounce pads, so we jumped once to get to that collectible a little quicker. This game will give you different achievements. One achievement in Love 2 was to clear a stage without jumping, and all of these stages right here are from Love 1. By the way, if there are any donations or anything that want to be read, now is a good time because we're on an auto-scroller.
All right, well, we do have a $50 donation from Buzzer Yum Yum, who says, "Keep doing what you love. Your runs are always fun to watch." And thanks to that donation, we met the incentive for watching the cutscenes in the Shaq Fu run.
All right.
And also another quick announcement, in addition to the Shaq Fu incentives, after the Shaq Fu run is a run of Smash Bros. Brawl Subspace Emissary, and an incentive has opened up for $250 to kill Taboo with Sonic.
It is great to hear money coming in. By the way, Buzzer Yum Yum is my partner who has always been incredibly supportive of me, trying just do good and do a lot of speed running, so a lot of love there. And now we're in the belly of the beast. Actually, I lie. We're in the mouth of the beast, and we're going to start going into the belly. We're going to do a death warp, death abuse coming up right here, because by hitting that I hit it too soon, my bad. First time right here, there we go. Hitting that opened the floor, so we were able to skip some slightly slower areas. This game is very precise in some of the stages, like this one, where you definitely want to avoid a whole mess of obstacles coming down to kill you, or sitting on the ground wanting to kill you. And so we are going to climb up here. And what I like is all of these are different stages that kind of have like a post-apocalyptic type of look to it, be it very organic, where it looks like we're in a monster right here, or a beast, a dragon, or it could be things that are a lot more mechanical. The next stage is going to be mechanical in nature. That was an intended death because we wanted to warp back to our checkpoint. So now it's like we're all of a sudden in a factory. This is the stage that truly makes Remastered versus Classic night and day. This stage on Classic is a lot harder to get these good skippable rhythms where you could run through multiple obstacles at once. Also, these bullets move the same speed as you in this one, and they move slower than you in Classic. Intended death to grab that collectible. A little Mario running here. Because they're slower than you, that final run to the right is incredibly difficult. Trying to run and jump while there are bullets slightly slower than you leads to you a lot of times landing on a bullet and taking a rather unintended death. That was also an unintended death. Deaths happen. Like I said, we're going to see a lot of them in this game. Here we're going to do a blind leap, a leap of faith down below, and we're going to try and make up a little lost time by doing a cycle skip right here. And it might not make it, barely didn't make it. It is about a 3-frame window to get that correctly, so very tight. This stage I love. It's very icy in look, and it is super chill in music. Like, it feels like you're just chilling out. Poke that through that obstacle so we could keep riding it. We'll run back here, grab this. Unfortunately, we have backtrack. But now we are getting ready to enter stage 15, where we get to learn all about teleporters, which can be lots of fun, or very, very, type of thing that could get under your nerves. And now we're on the last stage of the love level set. So this is the last one that's different between the two different run options. The collectible is really well hidden there. I always think of this as the final exam for Love 1. You'll notice a lot of the different obstacles we saw. Here's that slow tube. We had those guns up above. We have Yoku bricks coming up. We've got the saw blades. The last stage of every Love level set is pretty much a final exam. This one is very tight to get through those drops. And so we will just now take these bouncing platforms, and we are getting near the end of this, near the end of Love 1. I always tell people it's a good time to share a little love as we're getting ready to exit Love and head into Love 2 Kuso, or Kuso as it is originally called. Kuso stages are very similar to Love, just a little bit more refined and some new tricks to them. However, we're also going to see some of the collectibles, 5 of them in particular, have saying I really love, which is a friend. There is actually something friendly in this game, and we are about to see it for the first time. We are about to see Charlie the cat. Fred Wood put his cat Charlie, need that digitized meow. Fred Wood put Charlie, his cat, into a few spots on Love 2 Kuso levels, guarding collectibles. We'll see Charlie 4 more times. As an animal lover, I love seeing Charlie in this. And so here we're introduced to like these giant flames, and all of these obstacles are for the most part not too difficult to work around, but because of how they look and sound and feel, they could be very intimidating. Like, this game does a great job of really just putting the stress on you by just being very visually busy, despite being very visually simple. Personally, I'm a huge fan of just this art style. It's so unlike anything else that you could currently find. We're going to see one of the hardest to find collectibles in this level set, in this stage, because it's going to look, that was not intended, it's going to look like we are throwing ourselves to the abyss. There's Charlie again. Charlie was guarding a very hidden one. 1,500, nice. Fantastic. Remember, keep donations coming in. If you're joining me for something like 20 cents a death, you've already seen there are a lot of deaths going on, so hopefully that's a good incentive to donate some more. But yeah, keep the money coming in. This is a fantastic cause. Real Hope Project is amazing. I love seeing the thought of, helping kids find their forever families. So definitely keep that money coming in, and I'll keep the deaths coming in so there's more incentive to keep donating. This game, as you could tell, very much is going to throw death my way a lot, especially right here, because this stage has very tight spacing. Somehow I made it through, and we're going to go by way. That's what happens when you put a checkpoint where it can't survive. We are doing a cycle skip right here. That was very precise, very tricky. Then we'll go up here, grab this collectible, and do this stage as quick as we can. This next stage is very tricky because in Love to Kuso, coyote jumping was a lot more generous. So you could run off that cliff and actually land down below. Instead, coyote jumping changed a little bit, making this stage a wee bit more tricky. If you can't tell, I also used to run, before this came out, Love to Kuso, the previous game in series, which had all of the levels of 1 and 2, and of course this one now has 1, 2, and 3, and some bonus ones. So in this stage, we need to be on the right cycle to avoid getting shot by this gun. It is very easy to get shot. And I'll put a checkpoint there. Have this open up this door. Checkpoint is actually safe right there. And now this stage, we're going to try to get on a quick cycle. We are actually doing pretty good. This is about the quickest you could go here. And we don't want to go so quick that we catch up to these little geysers from the ceiling. We'll wait for this, slide on back. And after how frantic this stage was, we're going to break it down with something a lot slower here. This stage, if you're doing any percent, you could pretty much run through without ever coming to a stop. If you're doing 100%, getting that collectible requires a little bit of a stop. So we had to go just a little slower. This stage here is once again feeling like we're in something big and organic. I was actually watching Fred Wood stream this stage yesterday as he was doing some updates and patches to various games. I missed that just barely. I learned I never really fully knew that this stage was actually intended to be part of the next stage as well. They were supposed to be one stage. That's why they kind of look like they blend in together. We're also going to see inspiration from a trip that Fred Wood took to Japan is what this is from. It's climbing a mountain and finding a temple on the left at the very top. This is the only stage where you could really run on white ground, and Big Charlie in the sky, which you've got to appreciate that kitty. Animals are fantastic. And then we're going just, after going down so far on this stage, next stage we are going up with a lot of very tight yoku bricks. So I will try to go quick, but I don't want to force anything. Okay, that was me trying to force it. Don't force it. One of the big things on this game, if you ever pick it up, and it's a fantastic game, the price is really affordable. It's only a few bucks. I forget the exact price, but it is definitely not a budget breaker, and you get a lot of content and a lot of great music in the process. But if you pick it up, important thing is just remembering, don't force anything on this. If you die and you keep trying to push through it, you are going to have a huge problem. So this one, if you run as quick as you can could stay on a perfect cycle, grab that, and finish this stage in record time. Oh, come on, let's get that final 30. We are 30 away. Let's see more money come in. I could guarantee you some money is going to come in from my deaths because there are a lot of them. Here, we are going to leave that checkpoint. We're going to teleport back to it with a death. We're going to see Charlie. If you ever make the mistake of checkpointing after that spot, trying to go backwards, back up here is incredibly hard. This stage, I love how the music gets up-tempo. An important thing, these little guys in their like little hover pods or helipods, remember them because we're going to see them once more on the final exam stage for Love 2, but we're also going to see them coming up in Love 3 in some fun new ways. So make sure you remember those helipod guys. I'll probably remind you of them when we get there. And we will now try to play pretty much dodge the bullet. And dodge the bullet is going to just keep continuing for a few stages because, yeah, let's just keep bullets coming at us, keep all of the dangers, saw blades, little mini blades. This game is definitely not friendly in look, but that was a boo-boo, not intended death. But that happens. Just means 20 more cents. Jump rope through those bullets. You could clear two of these at once if you go real good. Just like that. Yep, just casual dodgeball. So I'm going to go for a cycle skip here. It is incredibly close. It's actually frame perfect, and if you miss it, you will be able to go on the next cycle anyways, so it doesn't matter too much if you miss it. On this stage is the hardest trick of this game. I might get a little quiet for a second, or I might continue rambling, because hey, sometimes rambling works. Notice on the sides there are safety platforms. You're not meant to ride this up all at once like that, and I happen to have made a boo-boo, and I forgot to put a checkpoint right there. So we'll try that again. You know what they say, first time. But if you get that perfectly, if you get up here without touching any of those safety platforms on the side, there's actually an achievement in Love 2 Kuso for it. There's our final view of Charlie. Sadly, we are not going to see Charlie again on this run. But it doesn't mean we're done with animals, because there might be a bonus secret that I might have to show all of you on the Love 3 stages. Once again, casual dodgeball with bullets. It is very, it's kind of tight. We'll kill a few checkpoints to make up for that. Sometimes, depending on my mood, I'll also do donations, incentive based on checkpoints, but yeah, I think just death seems a lot more fun. Except for that death. That one was not fun. This jump is incredibly tight, like they really make you work for it. Here is actual death abuse instead of death warps. Instead of running back and forth and letting those platforms get shot out, if you take a death, you could cause all of them to just go at once and give you an easy opening. It's pretty much the only time we do a death abuse that is not a death warp. The main difference being a death warp is intended to get you somewhere, and a death abuse is just intended to help speed up the process. Very precise jumps there, and now we're on the final stage of the Kuso set. This is Love 2, stage 25. Very tight mechanics right here. Once again, it is a final exam. You will notice everything from the last 25 stages is showing up again. Here's that gun from that stage that had the guns that lock onto you. That orange stage with the big, that thing, it's back. We'll do a big leap of faith right here. The wizard, which is that elevator one, or that calming one from the middle. Pretty much you get everything coming right back at you. It's a load of fun because, you know, it puts everything you've learned to the test. And this music is amazing. I love this prog rock sound. All of the music for Love 3 was done by one person, James Bennett, I want to say it is. Fantastic music. It's just really cool and chill to listen to. Personally, I listen to this soundtrack for fun and to relax all the time because just so much variety and so good. Here we are going to play Ultimate Bullet Dodgeball. All right. And now we're on Love 3. Love 3 has a different mechanic for the secrets. The secrets are puzzles. It is almost like 2 games in 1. There is a precision platformer game that you could speedrun, and there is a puzzle game where you need to solve a puzzle for every stage. If we jump there, that lights up. There, that lights up. And then we go up here, and that lights up, and it opens this down here, which was previously closed off, and that'll give us this secret. Every stage has a very unique secret like that, except the final stage. So on this stage, if we move as fast as possible, don't slow down, don't miss any frames that you don't need to. We want to just get up here as quick as we can, and we're going to get ahead of a cycle. Hit that. We stand here, we move this platform. Big jump, barely made that. I'm surprised I did. You wanted to put that platform in the middle, but by having that saw blade go over it, opened up that area, which let you grab the secret. This one, I hope you like jump rope, because the secret in this stage is all about playing a little bit of jump rope. Just a little double dutch action coming up, which is just amazing to see like the variety of secrets in this game. And so we are going to go up here. Notice on the left is just some patterns. We will be back at that. You will see what jump rope will actually do. So ready, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Intended death. And now these symbols are gone. It is an area to explore. And there we go, off to the next area. Every time you get the collectible, it will turn off some traps typically in the stage, like those guns turned off. And now we have the obligatory water level. If you know TMNT on the NES, I always get vibes of that because the shape of these obstacles, if you touch them, you die. It's a lot like the electric seaweed on TMNT. And now, luckily, we're almost done with the largest water level of this run because I never am a fan of water levels. This one's a real good one for being a water level, even if the physics are a bit broken, because I'm pretty sure you can't have a box of water floating in the air, but what would I know? But we're done with water, now we're on to conveyor belts and what might be the least hidden secret in this game. See if you could find it. It's on screen now. It is right down here. A little hole. And then away we go. Yeah, but below the ocean, you only had water like disappear, okay, while you were below the ocean. So yeah, fair enough. Who needs water physics to make sense? So we're going to jump ahead of this here. And this stage is going to be super tight on timing. We are going to try and get some cycle skips, which is incredibly tight right there. We want to land on that platform. So there are, there we go. I thought I'd get hit. This stage is a tricky one because you've got a lot going on at once. fall down a leap of faith. We're going to have a few more very tight cycles that we're going to try to skip. And went just a hair quick, because if we do this real quick, we could do a platform and a jump. By getting all of those little platforms that had a pixel change, it activated those jumps. This stage, I always like to call it Donkey Kong, because it's like Donkey Kong, but there's no big ape and it's just a little bit different. But very Donkey Kong inspired. You have the barrels rolling down, you're just trying to run and avoid them. And you'll notice anytime I go somewhere weird and out of the way, I'm triggering something that is part of the puzzle to solve, the secret in this stage. By the way, going uphill, avoiding these barrels is very not easy. But we have a few spots we could put down checkpoints, like right after these jump pads. What's really fun is the barrels follow same speed as you, and they follow same rules. If they hit a checkpoint or a bounce pad, they will bounce. So here is what I call the waltz. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Put a checkpoint there. We're going to fall down real far, so hard that we break the floor, and then we're going to fall down again and exit the level. Anytime you get one of those collectibles, if it's somewhere you cannot get back from, you will probably... I should have put a checkpoint. If you notice, if it's ever anywhere you cannot get back from, there's going to be like a warp that will open. Those warps will let you beat a stage without dying, but the warps won't always get you where you want to go as quick as possible. We're actually only going to use like a couple of the warps after getting to the collectible. So like that warp there, we're not going to use. Gotta rush through there as close as can be. And now, if you notice, there is nothing to my right. We're going to stand right here, and you'll notice there is something to my right. Going to drop that down a little bit. We're going to do a little more death abuse here, a little death warping. We're going to do 2 more death warps to that checkpoint. We're not going to put a new one down. So the collectible, which we opened by grabbing that one thing at the top right, lets us go there. And then we want death warp right back here. We're going to have another very Donkey Kong-like barrel stage. Avoid these guys, death warp back here because we opened this door up. That was just a hair closer than I thought. I thought I had a little breathing room. Oh well. So if you notice on the right, there's lights that are lighting up. Need to hit all 4 of these without dying. We're putting a checkpoint there to go back to it. That was the 4th one. By hitting this, we're going to stop barrels from being manufactured. But the thing is, there's still some that were manufactured up above that are going to keep coming and giving us a hard time. By grabbing all of these, which are not collectibles, we actually were lowering that platform so we could get through. This stage, I always think of this as like a pinball machine. It has a lot of the feel of a pinball machine to me. Maybe it's just saying I feel, but it's like, it feels pinball-esque. And you do a lot of bouncing around. There's a lot of things trying to hit you. And if you think this stage looks real cool, good news, because we're going to see almost all of this stage again. You might be wondering why. Well, we hit those checkpoint or that collectible unlock spot. We go back to that previous one, we hit all of those. We are going to put a checkpoint right there. And now we are going to repeat this whole level. Well, we're at least going to go back to the very beginning. Want to be very careful because if you rush this too much, you have to fall all the way back down. And there we go. As I say there we go, I mess up on the final one. This is another stage I love to call out for the music because this music is fantastic. We're going to hit a switch. We're going to hit a switch. We're going back to that checkpoint because now we have created another switch. Playing this game casually is a lot of fun because discovering all of these secrets really took a lot of time and really made for a fun experience. More Yoku bricks. Time that slightly off. There we go. And we are just going to make a mistake. 2, 3, jump, jump. All right, here we go. If I don't, we'll get it. I'm just trying to donate a little bit more money. That's what I'm doing.
Speaking of donating money, do you have time for a couple donations?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, we have a $50 donation from James Bennett.
Oh, awesome.
And we also have a $20 donation from Fred Wood, who says, thanks for running my game for such a good cause.
Oh, thank you both. This game is amazing. It's one thing that's great is the speedrun community for this. Fred Wood is very much active in talking on Discord and, celebrating speedrun achievements. And then, of course, like I said, the music by James Bennett is unbelievably great. Like, it is some of the best music from a game. So we're going to aim this gun. So we aim guns here. We need to get rid of every white dot. Audio cue. So we need to get rid of every one of these white blocks, which can be kind of time consuming. And then we're going to need to essentially repeat the first half of this stage. There were white blocks back there on my right that I did the audio cue listening for. It's better to go a little slow with the gun by jumping like this than to let the gun go backwards and miss a block, and then you have to bring it all the way back around for a fresh cycle. So we're going to get these. There's going to be another audio cue. There it was. Get under this gun. We need to get this gun re-aimed so it breaks a block. Because, like I said, we are going back. We want to hit that button because if these guns sit without being moved for too long, they will go back to their default position, which is going to just be bad news all around because they might shoot us. We'll grab this, back to this point at the end. And before I mentioned those helipod guys, and I said they're going to be back in the Love 3 levels. Well, here they are back, and it's time for us to get revenge. We are going to take their helipods, which control really squirrely. Like, they're a lot of fun when you get used to them. Until you get used to them, they are super touchy and really interesting mechanic. Go up here, we are going to 4 unique spots. And by going those, missed that one just barely. By going these 4 spots, we're going to open up a final area, which is where our collectible is going to be. That was the final spot there. And I did not want to fall down like that. Just making small little mistakes, but it's all good. Like I said, these things control very squirrely. They really like to move in very frantic ways. It really makes it for a lot of fun because it feels like, and this is why I opened by touching those spots, it really feels like this is not my device and I'm stealing one. 5-8, our hero stole one of these. So this stage here I think of as the midterm. We now have a midterm exam. There are 4 quadrants. Each quadrant you need to get to activate a jump pad right there. But first we're going to get the collectible under the world, and each one involves some mechanics from previous areas. You'll see them right above me back there. We're not doing them. I might get a little quiet here for a second because this is super tricky, because this controls really squirrely. And there we go, and here's cat and dog like I promised. Milo and Bork, it's not a required secret, but it's a fun little bonus show off when you're doing a marathon or, a showcase of this game. All right. So this is another stage where we're going to find various spots hidden around the stage that we want to just touch real quick. One's there. There's one off cycle. I should have gone 2. So there's going to be one right above us, right there. I should have put a checkpoint. Always remember, checkpoints are free. And if you're playing speedrun mode, lives are unlimited. If you're playing any other modes, you might have limited lives. Makes the game a lot more challenging. Imagine having limited lives to get through all of this. We'll go down here. That was our secret for this stage. I think we're off cycle, but we're going to try and get through. Yeah, if we were a touch quicker earlier, we would have actually had a clear cycle on that. And now another one that makes me think of Donkey Kong in some ways, because it's more barrel action. This game has a lot of these barrel-related stages, and they definitely keep you on your toes. Especially this one, you'll notice there are things just falling, shooting. It is very frantic. You'll also notice it will look like we will get to the end of this stage and not get our collectible, because we are going to go back through half of this stage. Once you get to the end, you could then make time go backwards, and these jumps, by the way, are super big, very, very tight jumps. So sometimes I'll just donate a couple extra 20-cent donations for trying my best and maybe coming up just a touch short. All right, and now we have the secret at the very end, and we'll go there. This stage, we're going to get rid of all of these walls that have the weird white and green banded texture by grabbing these collectibles or these keys. This is not part of unlocking the secret on this stage. If you put a checkpoint down on one of those floors, your checkpoint will die, because you cannot checkpoint in midair, and once you get rid of it, it's in midair. We're also going to have more helipod fun and learn a secret about them. They destroy walls. If you crash into a wall with a helipod, and all of these deaths are intentional, and that's about $1 in donations from intentional deaths. This stage is great for bringing in that money, because we gotta go fast. So we are going to do some very acrobatic flying, and sadly I did not get that, and you'll notice I'm checkpoint way up there, so that adds a little time to this. And now the closest we have to an auto scroller, because we cannot go any quicker than these little cube prisons will let us go. If we touch them, we die, and we just gotta go patient. And if you speedrun this game, patience, that is something hard to maintain. Like, it's anti to the speedrun mentality. Go there, go there. We had to get that right one before we could get the left one, so we had to take that death warp back. Go down here, and we're going to have one more cube, and we're going to take a couple more deaths. There's an intentional death. Created those jump pads so we could go up here. Another intentional death, just to get us back down a little quicker. This is very tight. You'll notice it almost hits me coming back. And then we take the intended exit route, just keep moving, don't look behind you, don't stop for a second. Go up here, and we will get out of this stage. And we have another stage where we are definitely going to have some deaths come up. Intentional ones aplenty, and maybe some unintentional ones. This game really does like to throw deaths at you, which it's kind of fun because it's a learning experience. So our secret gets unlocked up here, and we will grab that intentional death to go back down below a little quicker. A very risky upward progression, because if you barely miss aim, and that guy will get in your way if you fall off cycle. This guy will come for you. All right, we are approaching the home stretch. We've only got a few more stages go. We are on the 21st Love 3 stage. When these platforms come back up, by the way, you want to avoid touching them because they turn white. And as we've learned, white is typically death. Also, you want to be very careful around here because if you jump full height, that happens. I did that death intentionally, get back to that checkpoint. But this is a stage all about jump control. Because our jumping is very, very, very important to control when we're avoiding these obstacles. Another death warp to go back here to the thing we unlocked by running on all those blocks that kept losing every other white dot. We opened up that little room, put a checkpoint for safety's sake. You need 2 of these to get through to here. This is probably my worst stage. It is not the hardest stage, but it is one I am not the best at. It is hard for me to get on the correct rhythm. Hit that right there. Put a checkpoint here. These move same speed as you, so if you don't bonk into the ceiling or anything, you can actually just keep moving with them, and it is part of what lets you do the quickest routing. That was not the quickest routing. So we just keep up with that and go up here. And now we are in what looks like a high-rise building, and we are going up the elevator shaft with another stolen hover pod that we are once again going to take some intentional deaths. And then we want to bring this guy up here to activate that. That was not what I wanted. I'm just bringing in a little more money, because why not? Bring the helipod down here. And now a very, very precise series of bounce pads. And away we go. And now we are on the penultimate level of this run, and I did not get the cycle skip that I wanted right there, so we'll have to go a little slower. So there is only one more stage after this, so if you're wondering how many more deaths can I fit in, we'll probably see a few more at least. But this stage, we are going to activate a secret that will stop all of those blades. So the secret is back here at the place where we checkpoint. Now all those blades have stopped. And now we are on the final stage, which I call the final exam. We're going to see a lot of things that we saw before, and we're going to try and work around them and work through them. So for example, here's water, here's gun. We'll grab that, death warp back here, go over here. We want to wait a second and go up here, and we're going to clip through a wall. And by doing that, we are getting through all of this a little bit quicker. Shouldn't have hesitated right there. Go up here, and this final exam has 4 sections to it. This section, do you remember the combination? No, it's trial and error combination. It's middle, right, left. That opens door, we'll grab this, and then we'll go down here, a final death warp checkpoint. Time is coming up in about 30 seconds, give or take, maybe a little less. If you got every secret, the screen goes white, hole opens in the floor, and time is coming up as soon as the screen goes black. So in about 3, 2, 1, time. And so here, by doing this, getting all the secrets, getting 100%, we get the bonus ending. 5-8 was on a quest to make friends, and he might have been wondering, will he make a friend? He makes all the friends. Such a happy ending. Alternative, he ends up on his own if you do not get all the secrets. And that there was Love 3, and now we'll see how many deaths I had, because the game will count them up for you. This game is great for stat counting and tracking. So we had 174 deaths. which I've got my calculator here. Like I said, I could speedrun simple math. 174 is a little too much for my brain right now. So 20 cents per. I'm going to be donating $34.80 for those deaths. If any of you were joining in for a cent a death, $1.74, that's good money to help out the Real Hope Project. So whatever money, if you have the ability to donate, strongly encourage do, because this is a fantastic cause. Adoption and forever families are very important, and it helped to shape the family I come from. So I strongly encourage, donate, and also get those Shaq goals, the Shaq Fu goals. I want to see that game. I know we all do. Thank you, everyone.
And thank you, Heponwana, for that run. Slight update on those Shaq Fu goals. Both Watch the Cutscenes and the bonus run of Game Boy Advance Shaq Fu have been met.
Excellent.
And coming up next, we will have Electric Man 17 doing an any% run of Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue.